All right, Rob.
How are you?
Rob, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
South Plainfield, New Jersey. South Plainfield. Yeah.
And you grew up with mom and dad?
Yeah, my mom and dad. Yep. I have a brother who's 4 years older, Paul. Yeah.
How was your childhood?
Childhood was, it was good. I had a good support system. Parents are married. They're a great family. Being with my mother was Puerto Rican, so I have a Puerto Rican mother. You fuck up, they'll get you. So yeah, other than that, she was a good mother. But if you went out of line, she definitely took care of business. So if you fucked up at church, you better walk home, because if she walked home, you're in trouble. Yeah. So and a couple of times we acted up in church, and my mom, being a very religious Catholic, we messed up in church. We were doomed. I'm telling you, it was bad timing. It was not good. Yeah. So.
And
Yeah.
you graduated high school?
Graduate high school.
What did you do with your life?
Let's see. My life. I went to college. I went to Towson University, and then I did ROTC because I realized I was drinking a little bit, and I wanted to better myself. So I was partying, but I didn't really have direction until I joined the military. So I did ROTC at Loyola College, and then I graduated as a lieutenant, second lieutenant in 1998. So, yeah.
And you went to, there was combat?
Combat, yeah. So I was in Iraq during the surge in 2007 as the captain with the 58th Infantry Brigade Combat Team. And then I was in Afghanistan 2011, 2012 with the 29th Infantry Division. So it was like a 58-man team or 56-man team, as I recall. I don't remember, but it was a long time ago. And I was attached to the as an advisor to the Kabul City Police. So that's where I saw a lot of violence towards U.S. forces and coalition forces, and it was pretty rough. So our job was to respond to all the terrorist attacks in Kabul province, make sure the chain of custody of evidence was handled properly from Afghan forces to U.S., make sure we took phones, any type of paperwork, evidence, weapons, any type of evidence related to any suicide attack. Make sure the scene was under control and the right people were there. And most important is to keep the media away. That's very important. So that was a hard job, as I describe it.
What are some of the most extreme things you saw when you were there?
Man, terrorist attacks. I think the first couple of weeks I was there, I responded to a terrorist attack that involved a Rhino bus. It was a transportation bus for civilians and soldiers to different various bases throughout Kabul. So we got a call. It was a convoy and a van, like the Back to the Future van, Marty saw it in the parking lot. So they turned into the convoy and killed I think 23 people, like 6 people on the ground, 15. So like 4 service members, U.S. soldiers, coalition forces from Canada, and civilians from I can't recall the company, but it was pretty bad. They were in pieces, and it was rough. I had to carry. I don't like talking about it. But I had to carry some of the soldiers out, so it was tough, man.
How many years were you in the military?
Like 16 total.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so people say talk about the stuff you've been through, but once you see a lot of violence, it's always there. When you see the U.S. soldiers or civilians killed, especially kids,
It changes you.
it takes a toll on your mental health. So it's for me and Cal to say talk about it. I mean, this is one of many experiences. When you see a lot of death, I mean, as a cop, you can see death once a week, twice a week, and like I said before, as a police officer, a prior cop.
You were a cop after you came back?
I was a cop, with my job. So I was in reserves. In reserves. I had active duty time in college after I graduated. And then once that happened, I became a police officer in a major city. And like I said...
in the U.S.?
In the U.S., yeah, of course. In the U.S. metropolitan city. And, you can deal with death because the people usually they're homicide victims, what I've saw, are not really good people. But you don't want to see anybody die. But when you see soldiers that sacrifice, they leave their families, they serve your country, because it all stems back to 9/11. So there's a certain brotherhood. So when you see a dead soldier, either coalition or U.S., man, it fucks you up. Because you got to wrap the flag around the body bag. And then the helicopters come and take it. It took a toll on me. I did it a few times. And it was rough. It was rough.
And then being a cop is no party either.
No, I think the PTSD, like I told you, was probably stemming from that. Was probably a little bit hidden. But once I went to combat in Afghanistan and all that amount of violence probably just increased it. And it actually came out. When you're busy in combat, all these factors, is PTSD or health issues, mental health. If you're busy all the time, your adrenaline's kicking, you can deal with stress. I would deal with stress very good if it's dangerous. But when you come home and you're out of the military, you don't have the health care you have, and you're not working, personal issues like doing like finances and shit like that, it was hard for me to do because it was hard to manage my personal life because I would use drugs to help counteract the emotional issues I was having. So it was tough. It was tough on me.
And your childhood, was there any trauma in that you grew up with?
Yeah, disciplinary actions. My mother, it could say a little factor on that. It could, what you experience as a child. It could affect you. It's possible that I had some issues when I was a child.
I just wonder if something you went through as a kid kind of opened the door for you to put yourself in situations that might bring in more trauma. Yeah. It's possible. It's possible. If you get disciplined a little too much, it's possible. It's good. That's a good question, and we talked about that earlier. You don't know if like you had a good question when people with trauma become police officers, become soldiers. So maybe, like you said, experience the trauma over again to make you deal with what you witnessed or experienced when you were younger. That is a good question. I don't know if there's research on that. But I wonder that. It's a good thing you don't know. But, most importantly, when I found in combat is, the guys you serve with, you always will remember them, or you always communicate with them pretty much throughout your whole life. There's always a bond you have with the guys, men and women you serve with. So it was tough. I also saw a lot of bravery, and I saw a lot of people that were pretty much, both countries. It doesn't have the U.S. coalition. I see a lot of, when you go to war, you see who's a coward and you see who's not. And based on the experiences I've been through, I saw it on both sides, U.S. and coalition forces. In war, you can easily pick, the heroes and the non-heroes, because when shit hits the fan, the people that are constantly with you, I serve with great soldiers, men and women, and they were there the whole time. They were with me through the whole time. I've been through a lot of shit, and it was a team effort. Even my Afghan interpreters, they were great. I would trust them more than I trust some of the U.S. soldiers that I worked with. Really?
Because I work with them on a daily basis. And with the Afghan culture, you have to learn to know you. You don't know them. So they trust is gained through experience in that relationship. It's not like you get it right away. You have to trust you. You have to get to know your personalities. You earn that trust in that respect. It's not given. So, war is definitely something that's not good for anybody. It's not good to see. It has a long-term effects on your mental health and how you perceive cultures and perceive life in general. So it's not easy. Yeah.
Were there any military awards when you were serving?
Yeah. Our team did excellent. We served to the best of our abilities. I received the Bronze Star, a Combat Action Badge, and the Joint Service Achievement Medal while I was in Afghanistan. It was team effort. It was definitely a team effort.
And you when you came back, you were a cop for how long?
No, I wasn't a cop. Well, once I came back, I was in a warrior transition unit for several months, and then went back to the police department, talked to a psychiatrist, and they said, based on what you've been through, it would be better if you just retire. So, it can be a liability issue. You might stop somebody, you might overreact, and it's better, they address the problem rather than I go out there and make a mistake, and then it's too late.
Right.
So.
And what have you done with your time since you got back?
Well, I had a bad problem with drugs. I would take a lot of pills and do illegal substances. But most importantly, I started playing music. So what helped me, rather than do drugs, sometimes if I felt anxiety, I would play the piano, and it helped me get better. Music for me, all around the world, people love music. And music, I go play at the VA. I make my own songs based on how I feel. But I see a lot of soldiers and veterans like music. They like to sit and listen to the piano. I think music has a calming effect on the mind. And I think it's very important. So I can easily take the phone call and call a drug and get drugs, or I can go for a run, or I can play music. That's most important. Once I play music, all that stuff is gone. It goes away. But I can easily make the wrong decision and get drugs. But I try not to. So music for me, it makes me calm. It takes away the negative, the negative or voices in my head, to make bad decisions, the depression. It goes away. But
it's such an easy fix for a serious problem.
Easy fix, but remember, I have to make the right decision to go to the piano.
Right.
I can easily call up and get an 8-ball. I mean, but who wants, either way, I feel like shit. Drugs are no good. And it's funny thing is, when I was at the VA, they give me so many prescription medications, and they try to mask you. But in reality, they're not fixing any problems. It's up to you to fix yourself. If it takes running or learning a hobby, for me, medication, man, it really messed up my mind. And especially you mix it with narcotics, it makes you worse. So for me, music has helped my the ability to heal inside. Inside is most important. My mental health is most important.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so
Were you playing piano before as a kid?
maybe a couple of 3 to 4 years of lessons, but nothing serious. So I started playing my music again after I went to Iraq. I would go to the chapel, and they have a piano there, and I would play. So I started really playing, and then after Afghanistan, I started really to play because I was really fucked up. So I had to try to find some type of avenue that was healthy enough to handle what I was going through, which was not easy. That makes sense. I might be going there. I might be rambling, but for me, music has helped me calm my inner self. And most importantly is when other veterans say, hey, man, that made me relax, or they listen to me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that people stop you and say, hey, I like your music, which is good. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
You've been married, have kids?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm divorced. I have a 24-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. Good kids. Great kids. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
48. It's fucking 48. Yeah, hip replaced. It's brutal. Yeah. So I'm back to running again, so I got to get back in shape, man, because, depression for me comes and goes in waves. So I can be great one day and then make a bad decision. I'm on drugs for the next week. And then I'm healthy. I run another week. It's amazing because I like different personalities. So I would do drugs. I'm like, fuck it. I know it's bad for me. The next week I would run, be healthy for another 2 weeks, and then go right back to the same bad, unhealthy choices.
It comes in waves, kind of.
Comes in waves. Amazing, yeah. I want to get better. Every drug addict wants to get better. But there's always somebody in the back saying, you know what? When I first started doing drugs, people would say, man, you deserve it. You've been through a lot. That's how we try to justify our actions. Like, who cares? I'm retired. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a leader anymore. I'm doing nothing. I'm partying, which is a bad decision because no matter what, you have kids who are looking up for you, looking up to you. You got people, other veterans looking up to you. So it's good to stay healthy. Healthy and clean is what we want. But we have like inner demons that says, hey, get the drugs. It's an easy fix to fix how you're feeling, where you're currently feeling, Do
you feel like you were always this way, or did the PTSD that you went through in the military or as a cop kind of added to it or created it?
Well, I never did drugs as a police officer before that. So mostly my drug use is after. All my drug use is after combat, because I have the ability. Because no one, remember, once you're in the army, out of the army, you don't have that same brotherhood or accountability. So once accountability is gone and your purpose and direction is gone, it doesn't matter. You're
Good
like
luck.
You're fucked. You have to soldiers and people that get out have to have purpose, motivation, and direction. If you lose that, you're fucked. So a lot of times I call like General Winnington. He's a 2-star general, General Chuck Winnington. He's a great friend. He's a soldier's general. If you have a problem, you call him, and he was probably one of the best general officers I ever worked with or experienced, because he's a guy that knows how to put you in the right position. There's staff officers that are good in briefings. There's for me, he knows I was a police officer, and my other partner, Paleo, he's a DE agent. He's retired, so he put the law enforcement experience in the law enforcement jobs. So he knows we excel in that, because I like catching bad people. I was good at that stuff. And that was it. So he's a general that he always knew where to put the right people to succeed. That's why we succeeded. We had a good unit. We're probably the best unit. Oh, we're all pretty tight, the guys that I serve with, men and women. Yeah, it's all about, there's also officers in the military that are all about the political side. They don't want to make the decisions that, for example, when I was in a situation at an attack on Cargill Lake, it was a terrorist attack that killed about, I think, like 30 civilians. And we responded, and I was told by one of the British military officers that the place was secured. It was a hotel. And so I trusted him, but I called the Army. I called back to the TOC, which is a Tactical Operations Center. I say, hey, listen, we need additional assets. I don't feel this is safe. Can you bring, some, bomb dogs, people to sniff out, dogs to sniff out any bomb residue or anything? But they said, no, the roads are black. It's unsafe. So I said, listen, so you got military U.S. service members on the scene trying to get evidence, report back to the National Police Coordination Center. But not my own unit, the unit that was at the base at the time, the commander wouldn't sent the assets to us because they said the roads are black. That's fucked up. So in reality, I walked in, and there was 3 dead bodies that were shot in the head, and they were all sitting naturally. So reality is, if you can shoot somebody in the head, they're going to fall natural. They're going to fall on the ground. These guys are placed sitting up. So I told the Afghans and my guys with me that, don't touch the bodies. Don't touch them at all until we get, the dogs out here, clear them. You know what I mean? Clear the scene. So the Afghan didn't listen. He was the crime scene guy. He pulls the body down and blows his arm off. There was a grenade in the back of the body, and it blew off. I lost my fillings, and my head was rattled a little bit, but we were okay. But the thing is, if the Army, if I requested the assets, I have the experience to know what's going on. They didn't care. It was unsafe for their soldiers to travel to respond to us. But in reality, we needed their support. So, and luckily, nothing really happened. But that was a fucked up situation for me. So I realized you have some great officers that are in charge, and you have some officers that I believe they're cowards. They're there to make rank, and sometimes you have to make decisions that can put your soldiers at life in danger. But the majority of soldiers, men and women, Marines, Air Force, Army, Navy, they want to do stuff. They want to be there. They want to make a difference. And soldiers soldiers are the best. Our military is the best. But again, we have leaders that are not good. So I don't know if I went on too much, but it's the truth.
Do you regret enlisting?
No. To be honest with you, when I joined ROTC, I never thought about 9/11. I got a beer stipend. That's what I thought. I was a major in the Army, but in reality, I didn't really care about that stuff. I was a guy who, my personality never changed. I liked to party. I was very personable, very friendly with people. But when I joined the Army, ROTC, I wanted maturity, but I had a beer stipend. It was $150 a month. Back then it was a lot of money. But when I got better, I was a terrible lieutenant, second lieutenant. When I got stationed in Fort Lewis, I didn't want to be in the Army. I'm like, I just got to do my time and get out. I didn't like it. But once 9/11 hit and I went to combat, and when you go to combat, that's when the military kicks in. That's when you're really embedded with your soldiers, the leaders, the other
the Marines, Air Force. You're all, everybody's together for a purpose. So all that training you have in active duty, it really hits you get it full force when you hit combat. All that training, it comes together. So for me, combat made me a better officer, because when you see a lot of atrocity and soldiers dead, you can't be a clown in combat. You gotta make the right decision, because your decisions depends the decision you make can affect your life as well as others. So it's no joke. Combat is no joke, because nobody wants to get injured or killed. So, and all the soldiers that put their lives on the line and make the ultimate sacrifice, it's incredible. And I want United States, Americans have to know that is a huge sacrifice. To leave your family to go fight for a cause that you maybe not support, and you get killed doing it. So, yeah, our military soldiers, men and women, are the best Americans. Truly heroic, loyalty, professionalism. I think people should know that. Our country is the best, and we have the best military, and we have to make sure we have the best leaders running it, and that's the key. That's it.
Do you have regrets in your life?
Yeah, a few regrets. I was a good athlete growing up. I remember I played basketball and baseball, but every time I struck out, if I did something wrong, I would throw the bat or kick the cups. I have a lot of regrets, because now I wouldn't do that stuff. If I can go back in time, I would never give my coaches a hard time. Or, a couple of times recently, I emailed the commanders that I was in charge. They were in charge of me. I was younger, and I apologized. I said, "Listen, I know I made your life hard when I was a lieutenant, and I wanted to let them know that they were good officers. They were good leaders. Is that I was immature, and I didn't realize how important being a military officer is. When I was 23 years old, all I did was want to drink beer. I didn't really know anything about being a leader until I went to combat. So when you're with other people that are successful and squared away, it makes you a better officer. Just like in life, you surround yourself with good people, you become better. And if you surround yourself with bad people like me, when I got out, turned to drugs, so it can really change your life. So stick with the right people.
And the music has helped you steer away.
Of course, yes.
Steering away from the drugs.
Yes. Now I've been clean for actually a while now. So the music helps me, because I go to the VA a lot, 3 days a week, and I play the songs. And now my music is on platforms under Rob Fess, ROB, 2 words, FESS, and they're on all the music platforms, Apple and all that stuff, and Spotify. So I like music, but I want to share my story, because music can help change your life. It can change your life, especially with mental health. I think music, if you go around the world, everyone comes together for music. It's amazing. All over the world. Music brings everybody together, which is great. So, yeah.
You want to play a little something for us?
Yeah, sure.
Finish it out?
Finish it out. I appreciate it, the time.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, so music helps.
It's really lovely to see.
Thanks.
Such a simple, natural solution to a tough
Yeah,
problem.
when I play music, all that stuff goes away. So I feel calm, no anxiety. It's a good thing. Music is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what without music, and actually, you have to have a good support system. So having friends I serve with, good family members, my mom, my brother, and the people I serve with, they're always there for me if I have problems. So, which is great. I have a good support system. But like I said, when they don't hear from me for a week, they know I fucked up. Sometimes I do drugs, I disappear, no phone. go to casino for hours. Once they know that happens, they're like, he's gone. That's it. So
But the music stabilizes you.
music stabilizes me, yeah. So everywhere I go somewhere, I try to find a piano. Anywhere I go to a hotel, I try to find a piano, a bar with a piano, so I go play so I can make the right decisions.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so
All right. Robert,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
appreciate it. Thanks for the time. Thank you for the time and allowing me the chance to share my story.
Where
Appreciate
can
it,
where can people find your music?
Oh, yeah. So it's under Rob Fess, ROBFESS, 2 words. And I'm on Spotify, all the music platforms, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and it's me walking in front of a tank. So that's the pictures. It's a military combat picture. So
Excellent.
yeah, it's good stuff. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, thanks, buddy.